G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. We are here on Lipany in what is the third cast of 2025. Are we really doing this, Drongo? Are we really going to call out every single number of casts that we do? Well, anyways, welcome folks. A pleasure to have your company. Let's introduce our players for today. In the north of the map, in the color red, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, it's Kiljadi. And on the south side of the map, in the color orange, playing as the Chinese, it's Core. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is a pleasure to have your company here on Lipany. One of the more open maps, but at the same time, one of the more closed off maps, and we definitely do see that reflected here today. There are some lovely little choke points for us to wall up and try and play a defensive game, and I suspect we may have one of those games on the cards because we've got the Delhi Sultanate in play. Now, one interesting thing to note here is that the sacred sites aren't looking that good for our Delhi Sultanate player. Normally, you would prefer to have sites further away because it means that your opponent is going to be more stretched in their resources to defend those sites. However, here, we've got a beautiful little base of operations that Core's going to be able to easily try and take control of. Two sacred sites, very close together, and quite close to the base of Core. Now, if you were to look on the map, you would probably be assuming the same thing that I am, that these distances favor Core, but realistically, I think they're pretty even in the way that it's come. It just kind of looks like it's favoring Core just because you've got a little bit more defenses in the way of Kiljadi. But either way, let's talk a little bit about this matchup and talk about why the Chinese are so favored here. So the main reason why the Chinese are favored here is because they excel in the feudal age. They do very well up against the Delhi Sultanate because of the Zhukunu. The Zhukunu does great damage against all of the units that the Delhi Sultanate can throw at them, so it normally means that the Delhi is going to be looking to try and hit Castle Age as soon as possible. But interestingly, I would expect we probably see the same thing coming out from Core on the Chinese. A little bit of a focus on professional scouts. I wonder if we'll see it. Maybe we see a transition of Vils from... actually, we've already got 2 out over on gold at the moment, but we could even see a couple more. He's got 3 Vils on the age up. Vils now moving to wood, but let's do a little bit of a stock take and see how the deer hunts are looking. So we've got 2 deer hunts that are relatively close to his base. Pretty neutral here. Neither really favored nor disadvantaged. And the same going up for Kiljadi in the north. So pretty even Stevens when it comes to the spawns here. But let's take a look at Kiljadi as it is going to be the Dome of the Faith. Definitely the way Delhi players have been going in recent times has been a focus on the Dome of the Faith. Looking to try and get those scholar numbers up. Now, I think the big question for me here is Kiljadi going to be able to take Core out in the early game? Or is it going to be something where Core FAFO, can I say that on YouTube? He may look to try and mess with the Delhi Sultanate in the Imperial Age. And it is one of those scary things that we're starting to see more and more where the Delhi Sultanate is getting very, very comfortable in that Imperial Age. And have a look at this age up timing, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. I suspect we're immediately going to be seeing, there it is, the Imperial official now in production. Town Center, a little bit of idle time here for Core. You can see he's only got 6 Vils on food, but he does manage to get that Vil in production now. 4 Vils on gold, and I suspect this is going to be a very quick professional scouts. Maybe follow it up with a stable. Let's have a look and see. Lumber camp comes out. There's the Imperial official. Plenty of deer, plenty of sheep. Look at this, 19 sheep coming in. But you got to remember that it's not just about having access to food, it's about denying it from your enemy. And often in the case of players who are also looking to match the enemy's professional scouts, rather just denying them the luxury of having all 4 of the hunts, or at least the majority of the hunts. But now, Core, on this south side of the map, we'll be focusing on him at this early stage because he's in the feudal age. He's got plenty of time to make it work. We can see the upgrades coming in for Kiljadi. Expect to see professional scouts after the wheelbarrow, and that's exactly what we see. More upgrades continuing to come through for him. Sanctity also on the menu, but the theme of the day has well and truly been professional scouts, and I don't think it is about to stop anytime soon. Ladies and gentlemen, the mill, he's about to click it. Go on, do it. I know you want to. You're not just banking up 291 gold for the sake of it. And there it is, the professional scouts now coming through. Where's the stable? I would expect the stable gets put down immediately after this. And to be honest, there's a part of me that's kind of learning as we go, as we watch this. Hold on, give me a second. There's something on my floor right now. I don't know what it is. My foot's playing with it, and I was like, you know what? I have to check that out. It looks like the bottom of my keyboard. Not the entire thing, but there's like a couple of little a couple little, I guess you'd kind of describe them as like buttons maybe, that sit underneath the keyboard, little things to help keep them in place. Anyway, one of them seems to have gotten onto the floor. So we'll have to work that out after the cast, but now the stable coming online. Of course, the Imperial official has supervised this technology out, so Professional Scouts is already through. He could look to deny enemy hunts. I guess that's one of the key components of it, but instead going to be looking to try and secure the hunt himself. And this is something that we've seen where players will opt for securing one hunt of their own and then looking to leave one as a backup to come back to later and then try and get out onto the map and deny enemy hunts. So perhaps that is the case here for him as well. Archery range now going to be coming up as well, looking to react to the inevitable spearmen as they make their way across the map for Kiljardi. Scholar inside the racks. It is pumping non-stop here. Keep in mind, to match this, it'll be very simple for Core. He just puts an Imperial official on the archery range and he is going to be A-okay. But now, stable coming through for Kiljardi. We could look to see aggression in the feudal age, but typically it's going to be more focused towards the castle age. He'll be just trying to shut down the Professional Scouts. Of course, he knows exactly what is up for his opponent. Deer out the back, or rather the scout out the back, going to be guarding the deer. And we'll ride on board with Core, as now he's got the archer out. He should be able to push back these spears. He's got to be very careful about not losing these scouts. And we also see the spearmen coming out. So he's gone into the triple production facilities early on. So far, we see 3 Imperial officials on the map. Fourth one undoubtedly going to be coming out soon, but manages to secure up this first hunt. Now, keep in mind for Professional Scouts, for his opponent, still got 1 minute and 44 seconds left on that, and that is a lot of time. It allows you to clean up this hunt, allows you to potentially take this second hunt and to challenge the enemy side of the map. So we'll wait and see how the play looks for him. But at this stage of the game, it's just going to be a pretty simple opening. Archers, spearmen, together with a couple scouts just to round out the crew. You can see he's got, with the mill in the back of the base, it does make it a little bit tougher for these scouts, bringing it all the way back in. But have a look at this. 1 sacred site being taken, 2 sacred sites being taken, 3 sacred sites being taken. So while you might have the sacred sites, or rather, while you might have the deer in your possession, you do not have the sacred sites. And if anything, this definitely favors Kiljardi at this stage of the game. Professional Scouts will be coming through for him, and I'm sure he'll be able to defend his own hunts with relative ease. You could even look to potentially wall them in, though you'd be, you know, maybe a wall across here might be all you need, and then a wall across the gold. And that should keep that one safe. But now, 1, 2, and 3 sacred sites all captured. Sacred victory is now approaching 9 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. However, immediately Core looks to come out. Now, keep in mind, Kiljardi's not looking for a sacred victory. He's just looking to collect the gold. And you can see at this stage of the game, he's got no villagers on gold. Yet that gold per minute is going to start to rocket up. We can see it at 192 at the moment. And it will continue to increase over the next minute, as long as his enemy stays off these sacred sites. And we can see now that with Professional Scouts coming in for Kiljardi, he's going to look to try and gather up his own hunts. Meanwhile, he's also stealing away the hunts of his opponent. Now, I do apologize for the colors that these guys have got. So we have a red versus orange situation, and I'm calling this out 8 minutes through. I did actually go in, and you can change it from unique colors to team colors, and that's what I did. But the trouble is, and I've called this out 1,000 times before in my previous videos, and I'll do it here once again. When you do that and you switch perspective of the players, it switches the colors of the players. So you would have like red here and then blue over here if you're watching Kiljardi, and then you switch their perspective, and then all of a sudden you've got blue down here and then red up here. And it messes with the health bars as well. It's just really, really weird, awkward, ugly, and just doesn't make sense. So unfortunately, we can't really do that. So we're just going to live with them being orange and red. The alternative is that I just don't change the perspective, but it makes it very hard to sort of drive home that narrative and understanding about what players see. Like right now, as an example, Kiljardi just gets a little flash of his opponent as he runs past, but because he's got no scout with these troops, he's got no idea what he's running into, and fortunately, he manages in time to spot out these troops. Gets a little bit of a warning from the archers as they attack, and look at the beautiful splits coming through from him, leading Core away with the 1 horseman, or rather the 1 Ghazi Raider, the other 2 able to come in and pick off a single archer. Really nicely played. Now that final hunt getting picked up. Meanwhile, towards that top side, we can see the horsemen are out here. I wish we could have a little bit of a deer count. You know, one of the things I've seen over on the EGC TV stream is they've got a sheep count. And one of the things I'd love is like a deer count as well. That would be really cool to see who's got the possession of the deer. Where are they currently? I mean, it's hard, especially when they're deer carcasses because they're dead. But you know, it could be one of those things that would, you know, it'd be cool to see. I guess we could always just try and count them, but it's not going to be easy. Do I double click? No, it doesn't work. Wait, this is Kiljadi. Well, I mean, technically, neither of them have possession of them, of the deer. All right, Ghazi Raider v Horseman on the north side. How's our age up doing? Have a look at this. Core actually going to be the one first to age up. He's just sticking it on one base. Another thing to note is he's never gone for a single Barbican. Never gone for a single Barbican. He never made the Barbican. There's only one Barbican that you can make. He didn't make it, at least not yet. So Song Dynasty is still open-ended for him. He's in the Tang Dynasty at the moment. And now managing to chase away the enemy Scholar. It's on 19 health at the moment, and it will stay on 19 health. You can send a couple more units out, and it's going to be the Imperial Palace that he moves into. Have a look at the score difference for the moment. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't really match up with the reality of the game. He's invested a lot of resources yet to have that building constructed. Meanwhile, for Kiljadi, at 244 gold, he doesn't have a single Sacred Site held now. So really well played by Core to allow his opponent to take the sites, but then to have the presence of mind to then retake them and neutralize those sacred sites. Age up about to come through, 11 minutes into this game. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Horseman does go down. There it is now. Core will ride on board with him as he looks to utilize the Imperial Spy's ability. Let's see how much he can get with regard to information on the enemy economy. Perhaps he doesn't even look to use it. We'll keep an eye out on that minimap and see how he goes. As now begins the transition. 1, 2, 3 racks as Palace Guard's going to be coming through. Moves into the monastery. And now more horsemen moving up towards that top side. Spears and archers on the bottom side. The men-at-arms should be, or rather the Palace Guard should be pretty much uncontested. I mean, you do have Ghazi Raiders on the map, but they're of course going to be happy to take them. As long as there's a couple spears that are in arms with them nearby, they should be A-okay. But Horseman now cleaned up. Big army from Kiljadi. He is looking to age up himself. Still, we don't see those Imperial Spies coming out just yet. And to be honest, there's not really a good opportunity or good reason for him to use it, right? Like, you want to make sure your units are in position when you utilize that technology or that ability. All right, well, Palace Guard numbers continue to bloom. Meanwhile, towards that top side, we'll see that Kiljadi has no vision whatsoever on these troops that are beginning to come through. All Ghazi Raiders raiding to the south. He's got the one Sacred Site. About to click up to the castle age. We'll switch it over to income per minute. We're at 12 minutes and 30 at the moment. Do a little bit of a comparison. Core at 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 compared to 1,100, 1,300, 500, so 1,800. So 2K versus 1,800. Not a bad little difference at this stage of the game. But I suspect it will probably get worse because Core's going to be looking to pick up those relics, though there are always scholars that can move into position in fights or in games like these. But now, archers together with the spears going to get thrown away. A little bit of a waste of units here. Just kind of throwing them away for nothing. These spears especially could have been quite valuable mixed in with the Palace Guards, but nice little raid on this backside. Still quite a lot of food here. We're 13 minutes into the game, and look at the amount of sheep that he's still got access to. So really, really nice food positioning. Also has the huntable board at the front of the base, and not to mention we are playing on Lipany, which is famed for its berries. Palace Guard's trying to do a little bit of damage here for Core. We'll switch into his perspective once again as he tries to siege down the town center. Not going to find too much luck there. The House of Learning is going to be coming up. You can see him still working the magic. Imperial Spies was used just to get a bit of an idea, but there's that relic getting picked up right from the nose of Kiljadi. And Kiljadi doesn't have troops in position to deal with this. He's only got that scholar, and you can see him now immediately moving that scholar. It was the one scholar out on the map that was looking to pick up that relic, and it subsequently gets found, gets its relic stolen, and then gets forced to head to the next life. Second relic out towards the top side here. Should be picked up by this scholar coming through for Kiljadi. Now, he's also got one in the back of the base. Almost certainly going to be taking that one. But at the moment, it looks like it's probably going to be a 2-3 split when it comes to the relics, because Core at the moment has got 2 in the hand, 1 in the bag. Or maybe 2 in the bag, 1 in the hand. Hold on. Okay, he spotted it. He's routing back home. So all the relics held currently. We'll ride on board with Core once again. What kind of unit composition does he think about moving into? A little bit more advanced. We see all of those castle age units starting to come out. The Lancer, the Palace Guard, the Crossbow, all looking to make their way in this game. And one of the interesting things to note is we never actually saw the Zhukunu coming out for core on the Chinese. Not once did we actually see that come out for him. So that's interesting to note that despite the strength of the Zhuge in this matchup, we don't see it on the field. Well, more and more units towards this top side as the Lancer. I'm not even kidding you. I looked at that and at first I thought it was a Mameluke. I don't know if you guys have played Age of Empires 3, but there's a unit in it called the Mameluke, and it looks exactly like it. Do we see Mamelukes in the next DLC? Maybe. Maybe we could. You know what? I'd be down for some Mamelukes. Mamelukes, at least in Age of Empires 3, were kind of famous, notorious even, because they had so much health and not a lot of damage. They were very tanky. Where's that? That's towards the top side. He's showing off his relic. He's saying, hey, just so you know, I got one. I got one. Technically, I got two. But he only does the one wallalol. All right, we're checking in with Kiljadi. All the upgrades starting to come through, moving into siege engineering as well. Interesting decision and use of time with the blacksmith, especially at this stage of the game. But I guess it's better that you've got it rather than you don't. And it is a tier 1 tech, so it's going to be a little bit faster than your tier 2. And there's the second wallalol showing it off, just trying to distract the enemy and say, hey, he's doing the beastie. We're right on board with core, though, as the Palace Guard numbers have really started to bloom. He's at 12 Palace Guards now in this little army. 19 in total. Sacred sites are being neutralized. He's looking to take this one over on the west side. 3 relics safely back at home. He could look to move into your Yuan dynasty. Now, you've got to be really careful with your dynasties here, and it looks like he'll instead opt for Barbican of the Sun. So normally, one of the things you want to do when you pair a Barbican Sun at this stage of the game is look for an opportunity to go into a second town center. Now, I don't think it's not gonna show itself for a while here. So I think he's gonna be stuck in Song for quite a bit of time. Barbican is gonna be coming on the bottom side here. He's got actual double. We do see double berries down here. So nice little Barbican, but very out of the way. And this is one of those things where I feel like a Barbican on the front probably does more than the Barbican in the back. Even though it definitely serves a purpose. But like, think about it like a keep, right? Like, would you put a keep on these 2 berries? I wouldn't. I think maybe you could get away with, you know, an outpost or 2, but a whole keep makes a lot of difference. Like, I'd be much more tempted to put a keep up a little bit closer to these sacred sites, maybe somewhere around here. Still probably not here, though. Probably on this gold. Somewhere in this region. Barbican does come up, though. Huge force now for core. A lot of this is going to be these big units in the Castle Age. We're right on board with Kiljadi. See how he's doing as the elephant numbers start to build here as well. Take a look at this. The score in particular is rising. Is about 600 ahead. I'm going to take a quick swig from my drink at the moment. Sacred sites are being captured. 1 and 2. That is delicious. All right. Scout to the back. Oh, man. I just lost my train of thought just then. But we're back on it. We're back on it. All right. Lance is coming in for a bit of a raid here. How does the economy go for core? Because as I said, I think core... Ideally, you want to move into that second TC. There's a lot of things that he wants to do right now. So he wants to transition into farms, which he's doing. But to do that, you'd also need to avoid going for that second TC. But I think once your farms are up and running, you can probably think more about that second town center. Also, with the Barbican out on the berries, Imperial official, going to make a lot of sense moving out here, and we can see him now making his way out. Meanwhile, that scout's still calling out like an Abbasid scout right now. He is non-stop. And more production going to be added in for Kiljadi. A little bit of a lull in the action in this game. We'll check in on upgrades and see how they're doing. All the +2 upgrades for core coming through military-wise. Wheelbarrow, +2 on the food. Only +1s on wood and gold. Meanwhile, for Kiljadi, he's got all the eco upgrades. Dude, someone get that scout out of here. Oh, I tell you what. I wish there was a little option. You know, we've talked about this. We've talked about all these little suggestions. I'd love to have the ability to just click on a scout and it's a mute button. And it just mutes the call-outs from the scouts. It would be so nice. And you could just click on any, like an ally scout, basically. Because sometimes you get ally scouts that do it in a game. And they're just calling it, like you get an English scout that's in a 4v4 and it's on the other side of the map and it's just constantly screaming at you. That's what I'm talking about. That would be really nice. Just a little button. Click, mute, done. That's actually a great idea, Drongo. You should write a letter. The letter's already been written. Don't worry. It's on a list somewhere. All right. Well, interestingly, we now see village fortresses through. How many scholars have we got online for Kiljardi? He's up to 17 scholars. Kiljardi, you got to connect that Wi-Fi, brother. Village fortresses is a wonderful power spike. So getting to that is going to be really significant. And if you can speed that up, it not only speeds that up, but it speeds up boiling oil, it speeds up everything behind it. And there's the Wi-Fi now coming through for him. They'll reduce that down from 5 minutes and 20 seconds to 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So quite a nice bump there for him. So how does Kiljardi now look to play around the war elephants? Extra scary. I didn't even know that this comes up. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Capturing the sacred site. It's a little thing that shows in the UI. There you go. All right, well, look at the unit numbers now for Core. Beginning to move through the middle of the map. What does he see? What does he know? Why does he move in this direction? Oh, he's utilized Imperial spies. He sees the elephants on the south side. Now, keep in mind, he's up against a composition of units that are very immobile. So if he can force Kiljardi to come back to his base and take a fight here rather than going for a base trade, then that's a very good thing for him. To be honest, it works out both ways. If Kiljardi says, I'm going to go for a base trade, then there's more landmarks to kill, right? Whereas if he's forced to come back, then it works out well for Core because now you're out of position. I've got all this time to do eco damage or do whatever kind of damage I want. A lot of crossbows in this composition right now. I didn't even realize. I thought it was all Palace Guard Spear. But it's going to be a nice little mix of crossbows in here as well. Vils get caught out of position. 5 and 4 are the current Vil losses this game as more Ghazi Raiders make their way through. Nice control here. Only 2 spears being sent to the back of the line. Vil's now going to be found out with this outpost on the edge of the map, and you can see that Core's got him on the ropes. I suspect we've got an army somewhere in, maybe a little bit further back over here. Nope. There is nothing back here. Look at this. The army's gone straight back to base. He's chasing away the Lancers for the moment, which means all these Vils are just going to have to retreat back towards this keep. Now, there's a lot of units in here, and boiling oil, I don't think is through yet. Yeah, it's not through just yet. Now, one thing to note is he's spotted out. He can still see. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this is terrible. 73 Vils versus 62. Currently, 1,500, 2,000, 2,900 for Core, compared to 80. Ooh, okay, doesn't look that good. Oh, my God, he's going to get so many. He's going to get so many. He's walled off completely to the south. He's absolutely about... Oh, it's going to be painful. He's taken out 9 so far. And it's just going to keep rising. The army needs to come through to meet, but even then, he could just run back into his own palisade gate. The crossbows are just going to try and cut all these off. He manages to make it out with 6 Vils. Needs to try and get to this position so he can block. And now Kiljardi down to 55 Vils. Number keeps getting worse. And Core slowly working down all those villages. What an absolute massacre. Kiljardi now down to 48 Vils, less than half. Almost less than half of the enemy Vils. Not quite, Drongo. If it was 39, it would be less than half. But interestingly, we do see that second town center that's come online for Core, but he's going into the astronomical clock tower already. And I feel like this is a bit of a mistake. I think that Core 100% could have waited a little bit longer for this. I think I guess one of the things to note is going Yuan Dynasty, you get access to the pagoda. Pagoda's very nice to have, especially in the feudal, or in the Castle Age. The problem is, by doing this, you're gimping your economy. He's at 83 Vils at the moment, but maybe he's just seen the amount of Vils that he managed to kill from his enemy and says, well, you know what? I'm going to be fine on the eco front. That's a lot of damage done there, and every Vil I kill is a Vil that I've gained. But now, on the defense, the keep looking to try and come online. He needs to bring more Vils to this position. He's only got about 7 at the moment. Elephants do start to go down. He's looking to try and focus the tower elephants with the crossbows. Spears and palace guards rallied towards the front. A lot of ranged units back here for Kiljardi. While he might not have the villager advantage, he's definitely got the military advantage. Keep comes up online at 60% health for the moment, and he's going to look to try and kite back away from this position. I think that's the Pikes upgrade. It is indeed the Pikes upgrade that's giving a nice little bit of trade here for Kiljardi. It means that he's able to do more damage, or to rather damage his opponent more effectively than he is going to be taking damage. And we see now these Vils make it out. 25 Vils lost compared to 7. 26 Vils now lost. He's doing work somewhere. Sprinkled in placement. That's what it is. He's still got Vils up in this area on the west side of the map, but this could be bad for Core. We've seen a massacre earlier. There could be a second one happening right now. He's not aware. He's not awake. He's not wise. Now he is. Vils slowly being worked down. He manages to take out about 4 or 5 Vils we see on the farms, there is a keep in the back of the base, together with the Barbican, which should form a nice little chain link here. But for this moment, the advantage still, I think, sits with Core, despite being behind on that military count. Just made, oh, this is it just me, or is this a bit dangerous? 20 crossbow out here just doing their work? One crossbow, sure. Oh, he's got horsemen to reinforce. Not terrible. With Yuan Dynasty now online, you've got faster units, which means your horsemen are going to be more effective against ranged units. They're up to 2.16 movement speed. Ain't no way. That is really fast compared to the 1.88 of normal. Springald in placement. Still working down. You can see that they are outranged, or rather these villagers are out of range. Now 25 minutes into this game, the sacred site is neutralized. Still holds 2 out of 3, Killjadi does. A lot of resources in the bank, he's clicked it. Going up to Imperial now. This is a huge power spike for him because the Palace of the Sultan is going to be producing units for him. Units that cost gold, units that are quite expensive. And of course, the more scholars we put into it, the faster they produce. And now, crossbows with archers once again looking to strike from the south this time. Able to pick off 3 villages. But he should be able to clean this up. The horsemen in particular, going to be impactful, but he's able to take out and snipe off those first one that come through. The rest of them slowly getting peppered away. You can see just how quickly they go down. Now towards that west side, more horsemen coming through. Managed to dive those villagers into the keep. And back on the east side, that age up has come through now for Killjadi in the north of the map. He's going to look to put scholars in here immediately. Probably drop down a madrasa, start teaching his people about all things university, or at least all things madrasa. Palace of the Sultan with the tower elephant, the Sultan's elite tower elephant now in queue. Look at the elite upgrades on the way. We're starting to see all those T3 upgrades. We're starting to see is it the Marhouts that are coming through? The armored beasts. Marhouts, I think that's another Age of Empires 3 reference. There you go. You get 2 in 1 videos. I know there's a couple of AoE 3 frogs that still lurk around these depths of the internet. Give me another sec. I'm going to take another swig right here. That is good. I'm drinking some flying power. This is care of Aldi. I think, did we have them in the last video? Maybe it was the video before that. Maybe video number 1. For all you folks playing along at home. It is, it's like Red Bull, but it's cheaper. We still like it though. It's one of those things. All right, well, let's check in on that north side and see how Killjadi is doing now. Vill count, 66 versus 94, but don't be alarmed too much. He does have his village fortresses. So, does have the ability to train vills, so we just don't see him doing it from every single keep. Doesn't really have a whole lot of resources in the bank. 113 versus 99 pop at the moment. And that age up now going to be coming through for Core. Where does he look to position this landmark? Does he go defensive with it? Aggressive over on that west side? Jeez, I tell you what, this is an absolute defensive powerhouse that we're witnessing here from him. A keep in the back of the base. A Barbican in the back of the base. A Great Wall Gatehouse. To be honest, I don't actually mind this. I think this is quite smart. Because you've got the stone walls on one side, which should hopefully shut things down over there. You don't have to worry about that. So where is the rest of your flank? Your flank is largely going to be, so you probably want to stonewall this off, maybe even put a stonewall on an angle like this. You've got this side completely covered. Triple pagoda in the back of the base. This now covers your other flank, which leaves all of your units just for the center of the map. And it means that you can now just man fight against your enemy if you so please. But now the tower elephants are beginning to make their way across the map, clear out this annoyance that has been Core for the last 5 to 7 minutes. Riding on board once again with our Delhi Sultanate player, we see a second keep coming online for him. Is this the makings, the beginnings perhaps, of a sacred victory? It could potentially be. More upgrades continue to come through now for Killjadi, and this is where he really excels. You know, we talked about this early, about the fact that the Delhi Sultanate in particular have been quite strong in the Imperial Age in recent times. Definitely a lot stronger than what they used to be. Madrasa. Expect to see a second one. Normally we see the Delhi Sultanate drop 2 madrasas. Or maybe that's just May that drops 2. Alright, well. Back towards that center. Look at the elephant numbers here, by the way. It's almost full. It's almost 100% elephants. 27 scholars, 6 elite tower elephants, 3 normal tower elephants, and 3 Ghazi raiders, and of course the single men at arms. We can't discount that guy. Let's check in now. Over on that south side. Have a look at the numbers that are building down here. Look at this economy for core. Absolutely huge. Vil gets taken out over on this west side. Was that by the keep? No, it was... I don't even know. It was by a couple Ghazi raiders here. Another wall towards the middle. And you can see Kiljani's just trying to lock it down on every single angle here. Slowly but steadily. Now, where are the troops for core? Can we do a bit of a troop assessment? A lot of Nester Bees, but remember the Nester Bees do fall off in their strength in the late game. They've got access to additional barrels, but it really doesn't put them anywhere near as powerful as the Mangonel is. Double keep. A third keep put up on this sacred site on the west side of the map. 4th, 5th keep now coming online. Where's Kiljani's economy? That's the big question for me. It's like, he has had a huge opportunity here to go crazy with the Vil count, and he just hasn't done that. He's taken it slow. He's taken his time. And he could have been maxed for sure at this point in the game. When I say max, I mean with Vil count. Like 130, 135, not 200 out of 200. I mean, he could probably be 200 out of 200 now. But I don't know. I feel like it's kind of it's a little bit of an error at this stage. But core now approaching that max Vil count as well. Still at 111 now. And there's the numbers. It's a beautiful army. This is the army that I love to build as the Chinese. It's like the perfect army, right? Spears, hand cannoneers, nest of bees. The other thing I'd like to see added into this is a couple of bombards would be really nice, just because you know that because you know that the enemy is going to be going into elephants. So you need a way to deal with those elephants. And let's be honest, this is not going to be it, or at least I don't know how well it's going to do. Normally not that well against these units when they start kiting. And they are really starting to build up. We see the mango coming out. Adjustable crossbars just came through. Keep in mind, that is a free upgrade for you as the Delhi Sultanate. You don't have to pay anything for it. Other civs pay 2,200 for it. And now Vil's being caught out of position by core. Once again, he's maxed out. 200 out of 200. Not a whole lot of resources in the bank. But he's going to try and cut that Vil count down on the enemy side of things once again. Clock Tower Bombard begins to unfold or unpack and begin waging war against this keep. Back towards that west side. Looks like we've got Kiljani, who's going to be completing the wall here for core. I always consider this a little bit of a mistake on the side of the player that's doing this. Mainly just because core can just come back up here. Oh wait, no, never mind. I apologize completely. He did the right thing. I thought that this wall here was all core's wall, and then he'd gone to this point here and built his own, but it's not. And the reason why is because you can delete the wall segment. So you can't rely on the enemy to maintain the integrity of your wall. My lord, that damage. It's getting scary. That's all melee units, and look how much damage they took. Elite Spearmen now looking to make their way through. Going to be fighting up against Vils of all things here. Mango, once again, dishing out a round of pain to on a first come, first serve basis. Behind things. I don't know what the plan is. What is the plan with these spears? Is he just throwing away these spears to look to... Yeah, okay. He's just throwing away the spears. We've seen him do this already. We saw spears and archers get thrown away in this area of the map. Maybe this is just what core is treating as the dump right now, because he's moved them back to this same spot once again. But he's doing the right thing. You want to try and keep your opponent, keep their army moving, keep them away from that front line so that you're able to achieve other objectives you've got. But now that stone wall for core on the west side of the map has been completed. Sacred victory is approaching. 6 minutes remaining. Core holding on. And now those mango shots, you can hear how loud they are. He's got 4 mangoes out now. Core gonna have a little bit of trouble here about how he goes about playing this one. I don't know what the plan is here for him. But undoubtedly, he'll have something up his sleeve. Plenty of archery rangers coming through. Could look for hand cannoneers. This is such a difficult to deal with combo. Mangonel shots still cleaning up that front line. And now the elephants looking to come in close. The hand cannoneers together with the siege going to be up next. And look at the damage that gets done. It's almost like the elephants just don't care right now. They're like honey badgers but just much bigger. More units continue to rally down. Mangonels in the backside. 3 more elephants coming in. Nesta Bees tee off on that backline, do a decent job. Once again, the Mangos managing to take out the majority of hand cannoneers. And now those elephants going to be coming through, but to be honest, the numbers have fallen drastically. I felt like Kiljadi was in a good spot, but it definitely seems like he's fallen behind in this last fight. I don't know what happened there exactly. How did it sway so quickly? Was it just no answer to the knobs? I think that might have been the case. The Nesta Bees stood tall, and they're also able to take out the Mangonels on the backline. Now, when it comes to range of these units, we've got 7.5 tiles of range. Compare that to the Mangonel, and the Mango sits at 9 tiles. So the Mangos have got quite a little bit of extra distance, and if you put them in the right formation, which is line formation, you can kite them very effectively against that. But now, both players approaching that 200 pop. Core currently sitting there. We see him with Elite Army Tactics on the way as well. A lot of Vils on this east side of the map. He's trying to work down the outposts. You can see he's struggling to take them down. The main reason why is all this extra fire armor. He's got plus 10 versus fire. And the villagers are they've only got 10 torch damage, which means that they're doing 1 damage every volley on these buildings. The keep could be doing slightly more because it's got a triple volley here, but you can see just how slow and steady it is. That is kind of wild. I don't think you realize that, at least until you click on it and you're like, hold on a minute, this is not working. And that's without the fortification. Remember, once the fortification comes through, that's going to be another 5 fire armor. So you'll have a total of 15 fire armor, which is going to work very effectively against things like spears, which have got 21 torch damage. It means now you're doing 6 damage instead of 11. It is a nice little upgrade to have. But now, Core once again approaching these sacred sites in the center. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. How does he look to win this game? I mean, you can definitely just overwhelm the enemy at this point, but he's looking to switch things up, and with 32 scholars out, he's going to have pretty much every single upgrade in this game completed soon. You can see, look at the Madrasa. He's got only 2 upgrades left to go in it. We're 37 minutes through this game. That is a lot of free real estate. A lot of free real estate. It's a lot of free resources, but it's also a lot of free real estate. It's free real estate. That's a great name. All right. Well, what do we see? We see elite horsemen now starting to come out as well for Core. Beginning to move into fire lances. 9 fire lances at the moment. He could look to try and go for a snipe here, but it's always going to be difficult. Does he know where he knows where the landmarks are? And we've got 1, 2, 3 that are grouped together. 4th one in the back of the base. Not a whole lot of defense here, but I think he's definitely left it too late. I don't think you can go for a snipe at this point. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. That's probably not going to work here for him, but I think for the moment he should just be able to clear out this western sacred site without too much of a hassle. Men at arms trying to make their way through. Did go for a forced march. And now more units. In Kiljadi's position, I'd be tempted to just bring my villagers over here and yeah, get them onto the sacred site, but you'd probably just want to bring all of them. I guess you gotta be very careful. That's a lot of Nesta Bees though, and he's now gonna look to try and fire down upon the keep. Another volley should get off before, and he cancels it. He does the right thing. Holding that sacred site once again. More Ghulams gonna try and get on top of this sacred site. Kiljadi fighting for the game now. Core fighting for his life. A lot of siege on that backline. Sacred site almost looks certain that it's gonna be neutralized here. And Kiljadi cleans up the army, but Core captures the sacred site, neutralizing it and preventing that sacred victory for the moment. Kiljadi slowly working it down. Mango shots coming off, big shots onto that backline. There's a couple more hand cannoneers go down, and Core's trapped on the wrong side of the fence. You can see both of these walls. Bit of a DMZ down over here. Demilitarized zone or dead man zone, because there's absolutely no one who's getting through there. Now Vil's going to be caught out. But Kiljadi at 194 pop here. Looks strong in this late game position. How's his production doing? Production doing decently. He's got a fair bit of production back here, but I definitely think he needs more. And with 5k in the bank, you could 100% justify it. I think the next step you're probably thinking about is throwing down more stone walls to buy yourself more time on sacred sites like this. Maybe even just walling up completely, because we did see fire lancers come out a little bit earlier. Where are those fire lancers? Have they been spotted out? Okay, fire lancers have or should be spotted out right now by Kiljadi, and that should sort of give him a message or notify him like, hey, you probably want to start building some stone walls now. We've already got stone walls on the west, but at the very least, like, we just want to start like stonewalling off positions like this, just reducing the amount of damage they can potentially do, because those stone walls are just going to allow the flow of units, or restrict the flow of units a lot more, allow you to control the area. But now, Kiljadi going to be looking to recap these sacred sites. We can see the Scholar out over here. 10 minutes once again. Set your timers. He's looking for a sacred victory around the 50-minute mark at the moment. Of course, we can still track that in the top right-hand corner. Very nice change. Thank you, devs. Now Mango's going to get taken out. Palace Guards on the front line here. A whole bunch of extra melee armor. Not really that useful in this situation. You can see they're up to 11 melee armor. Couple of Trebs coming out. Interesting decision to go into Trebs, but is he running low on yeah, he's kind of running low on gold at the moment. Let's check in with him and see how he's doing. So he's got the triple pagoda in the back. Never actually moved that third relic from the monastery into the last pagoda, and we saw him put these pagodas up. So these have been kicking for quite a while. He's been missing out on 62, so that's 124. He's been missing out on a lot of resources every minute because of that. So that's a fair bit of free res that he's given up there. What is it? 124 plus 45, somewhere in that region. It's quite a lot. Every minute. That's a lot. All right, Drongo, that's enough. You've reiterated it. Well, the elephants begin to push down towards the base of Core. Core holding on for dear life. Not a lot of resources in the bank. Not at 200 pop yet either. Stone walls on the east side. Going to be dealt with by this bombard. He could probably just pull Vils over here and take that out instead. It's always one of the good things about having these Vils on the edges of the map. But now those Fire Lancers are going to make their way through. The perfect counter to these Mangonels, and they get great connections here. You can see as he explodes 2 of those Mangonels, 4 of those Mangonels. Let's make it a double. Come on. Hit a few more hand cannoneers and spears on the backside, and decent following right there by the Fire Lancers. They do a really good job in cleaning up all of these Mangos. And honestly, you got to clap your hands. Like that was 8 Mangonels that we just watched that come up empty-handed in this fight. They didn't achieve a lot. They maybe got a couple of shots off on these Fire Lancers, and because of that, Core survives. He manages to keep himself alive, manages to keep the head above water because it was going down. I was yelling timber. I had Kesha playing in the background, but it was a different song. What's the other song that Kesha wrote? There's 2, right? There's Timber. Come on, Timber's the best one. Oh, and then the P. Diddy one. Or is that the same song? I remember she said she's going to replace the lyrics about P. Diddy. Wake up in the morning. What's that one called? Don't stop. There we go. It came. Oh, I apologize in advance for putting that in your heads for the next 12 hours. All right, we're back towards the base of Kiljadi. The farm transition is coming through. How are you only on 72 Vils, Kiljadi? He's been pumping this whole time. Did I miss it? I must have missed. There must have been a raid. There had to have been a raid. There's no way you're only sitting on 73 Vils comfy. Townsend is still producing. Like, this is kind of wild. He's taken out 170 Vils this game, Core has. So I must have missed something. But now looking to even further defend and fortify these positions on the sacred site. Okay, there we go. This is probably what I was missing. Fire Lancers looking to make connections from the west side of the map. 2 golds over here as well. Keep that in mind. We haven't really talked much about resources here, but the control has been wrestled from Kiljadi for the moment. Still the primary controller, though, will be him. Keep going down. The trebuchets. Clock Tower, counterweight trebuchet. Longest name in the game, I think. It actually, it scrolls, if you watch. See that? It scrolls back and forward. That's how long the name is. Does anything have a longer name than the Clock Tower Counterweight Trebuchet? I don't think so. Those are all 3 really long words. But Kiljadi, he doesn't have long to wait before he wins this game. Have a look at this. The push now really coming to shove. Elephants and Mangoes. A combination made in the depths of Delhi. I don't even want to say it, man. in the minds of the best Delhi players in the world. Huge upgrades on all these units. Extra health on your elephants. Extra damage on your mangoes. And still making his way towards... What upgrades do we have here? Still to go. Siege works. We don't have ancient techniques. Core, we don't have ancient techniques. We've been Imperial for 20 minutes now, buddy. That would have paid itself off 3 times. But it is not the case. Core 191 population. He's got horsemen in queue now. And now, moving down towards his south position. Great Wall Gatehouse is going to be a potential challenger. And he manages to fire off, gets himself a beautiful volley from that Great Wall Gatehouse. Horseman looking to make a connect. Look at the mangoes. 9 mangoes now as he chases away all the infantry. Says, come on, let's do it. Core has got his army split. I honestly, just turn around and shoot. Just turn around and shoot. Thank you. Big shots. Big shots right there. Oh, man. Massive shots right there. Spear's now going to be moving up towards the north side. He continues to do this kind of distract. Okay, all right. Stables coming in. Has Core just given up on the victory? And he's going for the Hail... Okay, he's doing it. He's going for the Hail Mary. Look, he's kind of given up towards the main base. How does he keep himself alive here? This is the big question, because the lasting thing that you've got here are landmarks. And it seems clear he can't beat the army. So he needs to find another way to take him out. And if you can't beat the army, now you're on a timer as well because of the sacred sites. So he's got 4 minutes to go. Elite fire lancers are coming through. So he's 100% committing to this. He knows, undoubtedly, he knows where all the landmarks are. He just needs to find a route through. I guess realistically, he can just take this one. He just goes straight up through the inside towards the enemy base. That's got to be it. The problem is, Kiljadi might find this. You can see he's making his way towards the west. He's going away from the Great Wall Gatehouse. So if anything, you kind of want to put your stables in the back down here. I mean, can we just talk about this Barbican? This has got so little value, this game. I hate to see these Barbicans put in positions like this because, you know, it's painful. It's painful. Keep goes down quickly. More stables coming online. Core's maxed out. He's 200 out of 200. Deleted a whole bunch of what I suspect were villagers there. Puts 42 more fire lances into the queue. Hand cannoneers together with the traps. And remember, this is a very immobile army. 3 minutes until sacred victory. He bought himself a little bit more time by neutralizing this sacred site, and now wants to try and find a way to win this game. Though you got to keep in mind there's landmarks still in play here. Where are those last landmarks? Maybe the Barbican in the back of the base might actually save him, because by going for this Barbican in the back of the base, it's an extra landmark that your enemy's got to make their way down there and kill. Okay, all right. 82 fire lancers? Where are they? Oh, they're down here. Okay, so he did go down this direction. Fire lancers now in the south of the map. He could just, I mean, you could realistically just take both of these keeps out and then just take the sacred site. You don't have to do that. But then the problem is you're just going to die anyway. So you have to do it. You're forced to make the Hail Mary, because even if you take the sacred site, like you win with the sacred victory, well, sorry, even if you neutralize the sacred sites, you still lose to the elephants. 2 minutes until sacred victory. If you're gonna go, you gotta go now, right now, Core. If there's ever been a Hail Mary to throw, this is it. Where are the units moving from? Let's have a look. It doesn't even, he's still not challenging the base. Kiljadi's just taking his time. He's going through all of this siege now. He doesn't even know what's about to hit him. If you're right on board with Kiljadi, he's still in the black about it, or still in the blue, still in the, he's got no idea. He's still in the red. What's that term? He's got no idea. And now the trouble is this. You can't come back and defend. You can't defend against this. He's going to try and send the elephants back. It's too late. You can't. You've got to delete them and rebuild them. That's the only way you can do it. He's got a little bit of units in the queue at the moment. Wallalol attempt. Number 1, he's going to try. 3 more up the rear. He's going to pop them out the back. He knows he's in trouble. He knows he's in trouble. Elephants. He's not even moving back with them. More Wallalol attempts. Holding on. He needs to try and take out landmarks. How many landmarks are still left here? 1, 2. I think that's it. I think it's just 2. 1 minute to go until sacred victory. He is committing to the sacred victory. He's not looking to take out landmarks. He's not looking to snipe right now. Core going for it. There's the first one down. Second one, it's next up on the menu. Third one. Fourth one, not yet challenged. Second and third. Look how quickly they go down. Look how quickly they go down. And keep in mind, this is with the extra fire armor. Actually, I take it back. There's no fire armor here at all. 0 fire armor. It's only the HRE that get it. And now 3 landmarks down. 30 seconds to go. He's got 30 seconds to go. Look at the spear numbers starting to move out. He needs to defend this. There's nothing here. There's a couple of spears. Maybe a Wololo could give him the extra time that he needs to do it, but I don't think any of these relics have got any juice left in the tank. 15 seconds. It's coming down to the wire. Look at this. 12 seconds. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. He's going to do it. He's going to do it with 5 seconds left. Core snatches the win from the jaws of defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, how did he do it? Beautifully timed. With 2 minutes left, he made the run, and he timed it perfectly. Fellas, go check him out. I'll leave links in the description of where you can watch him at. And another banger game, 2025. What a year to remember so far for Casted Games. Wow.